Hey there guys, welcome back to Texas Beer Reviews, and on this episode we will be looking at a fresh release from today, December 12th. This is St. Arnold's Bishop's Barrel 16. So this one sounds incredibly intriguing. This is a double ale, aged in red wine barrels with brettanomyces. And, you know, they've got their little description, they talk about their barrels. Anyway, so we have a Belgian style dubbel, however, double, I don't know, I always say double, dubbel, double. Red wine barrels, which I can see because there's some similar flavors there. And then brettanomyces is interesting choice. I feel like they could have just done it without the brettanomyces. It still would have been pretty good. Now, I don't know how maybe it's awesome, so we'll see how it is. It just sounds kind of weird to me. So, let's check it out. So this just released, of course, today, like I mentioned. And got a few bottles. Wanted to check it out, see how it is. Fresh. So of course, is out of Houston. These used to be twist-offs. Now they are. Yeah. Not. Alright. Okay, so. Not really a whole lot of carb coming out of it. It's got a thin head, sort of beige, like coffee creamer type color. And a deep red, very deep, kind of a burgundy amber hue. Very deep amber, though. More of a red burgundy. And it is not... I'm losing my words here. It is quite translucent, not hazy or anything like that. So it seems to be filtered pretty well. Since I just got home from this too, threw it in the freezer real quick, but this time I didn't forget about it. So... But looks sort of how I expected, of course. Check out the aroma. I kind of actually would have expected a larger head. Usually Belgian doubles, triples, quads, things like that have a bit more. I don't know, not always, but anyway. Check out the aroma. Ooh, this actually smells pretty good. Wow. This is good. There's a specific thing that I'm getting out of this I can't put my finger on right now. Anyway, wine barrel, definitely getting the wine character. Getting some nice acidic notes as well. That kind of lemony. It's got this candy-like type quality to it as well. Not like a candy-like sweetness, but sort of like it reminds me a lot of a Flanders Red or an Eau de Bruin, something like La Folie, you know. But it has this very fruity, candy-like aroma to it. It smells sweet, but then also smells kind of tart, a bit of a lemon character. You know, I'm getting some red wine, but it's more of a, it's not very earthy. You know, a bit fruitier red. I don't know what red they used. They say on the website, I'm sure. Smells interesting, but it very much reminds me of, you know, I'm getting, you know, it's brettanomyces, but I'm not really getting any funkiness, per se, you know? So this really does remind me of something like a Flanders or an Eau de Bruin, so let's check out the taste. Cheers. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yes. Very much like an Eau de Bruin. However, that candy-like quality is very interesting. It reminds me in a certain sense of the brewery's Gypsy Tart, but better. Gypsy Tart was kind of medicinal, I think, to me. I wasn't a big fan of it. This is a lot better. I don't get any kind of medicinal qualities. No bitterness or anything. That's good. It's very lightly tart. It's not sour by any means. those candy-like qualities come out a lot. I'm trying to pinpoint like which kind of candy it would be. Excuse me. God, I can't put my finger on it right now, and I'm gonna think about it later. But think like kind of like that sort of brown turbinado sugar type quality, with that sort of darker sweetness. Kind of does remind me a bit of that. It's like if you had a cherry. I'm thinking sort of, okay, cough drop's a really bad example because it's not medicinal, but it kind of has that cherry type quality, but more candy like. It's sort of a thing there, for like a lack of better words or better comparison, but it's not medicinal, so don't think cough drop. I'm getting a hint of maybe a wood character on the end. It does finish a bit dry, you know, definitely from the barrels. I'm not getting a huge wood character from the barrels. You know, getting that brown sugar, getting the bit of that caramel, darker fruits, the raisin, the prune, typical notes you would find out of a Belgian style double. It doesn't have that mouthfeel though. I'm thinking more of like, you know, Rochefort type. That mouthfeel, very creamy, very soft. It's got a lot of head to it, like a lot of carbonation, but it kind of feels soft. It's very creamy. It feels very full-bodied. This is a little thinner in the body. And the carbonation's not so soft. I mean, it's not heavy at all by any means. It's a bit more of that prickly. But it's pretty drinkable, definitely. I mean, you know, because it almost smells like it's going to be sweet. It smells like it's going to be sour, and it's not really either of the two. It's got some sweetness, it's got some acidity, but the finish is very dry. So that makes it very drinkable. Oh, and they don't have the ABV. I want to say this is 8. Hovers around 8%. It's like 8.1 or something like that. Excuse me. As for a rating, this is an interesting beer. Because it reminds me of a few different beers, and it takes parts of these different beers. Things like La Folie or Rodenbach. And then, you know, some of the typical Belgian style double quad type things, you know, you get, if you think of Rochefort, you think of Westvleteren, you know. It takes that traditional Belgian style double and kind of notes of La Folie and sort of blends them together. And it's a good beer. It's very drinkable. Just interesting. It's not something that I would drink very often. I do like the Belgian style doubles. The red wine barrels are they're good, but it's, you know, I haven't had. I think anything in wine barrels like that I really like to see, like saisons, that kind of stuff. That's not a darker malt beer. You know, some of those they're fine. They're good. Like this beer is good. But it's an interesting beer. It's definitely one of those things that I'd kind of like to, you know, once in a while I'll shake it up a bit. But it's done well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the beer. You know, there's a few things that I think I could improve from mouthfeel. I almost would like a little bit more acidity out of it, maybe some more wood character. But it's a good beer. Actually not really getting, it's what's interesting, the brettanomyces, so there's different strains of brettanomyces, and there's some that you'll get more horse blanket funk type qualities out of them. Some will be more fruity, have a bit more acidity to them. I'm thinking they went with not a funky strain, you know, of something a bit more fruity, a bit more, has a hint of like a acidity to it, you know. I think that's kind of what they went with this here, because I'm not getting any sort of funky characters to it. And that's kind of what I was expecting at first. And it doesn't have that. Just very much drinks like if you were to blend a double in a La Folie, La Flanders, or Oud Bruin, you know, La Folie, Oud Bruin, Flanders, Rodenbach. So overall score, yeah, I'm going to give this a very, very solid 4 out of 5 stars. It might be just slightly better than that, but I'm not going to go quite 4.25. It's a very interesting style, very different experimental type beer. But, you know, it's good. And I don't really think I've had a bad Bishop's Barrel. Some are better than others. Some work better than others. But still a very interesting beer. Definitely worth a try. You know, so with all that said, that's pretty much it for St. Arnold Bishop's Barrel 16. So should be out in stores today at release. Oh. If you'll define it, so if this sounds like it's something right up your alley, check it out. Definitely a good beer. So as always, think global, drink local, and cheers.